I'm Mrs. OKOLI Sandra. I hail from Obuneze. I'm here to thank God for his faithfulness upon my family and to return all glory to him just like I vowed. It all started last year. During Open Heaven, I was there. There was this man of God that was invited. During the prayer section, he made a mention of few women who are pregnant, but unknown to them yet that they are pregnant. Fortunately enough, I was one of them. I was pregnant then, but I never knew. Until a few days later, I realized I was pregnant. I came here on a Tuesday. I blessed the name of the Lord. After some weeks, few weeks later, I had a dream. In that dream, I was pressed. So I went to the restroom. I eased myself and I cleaned up as usual. And I saw some piece of blood on the tissue. Like I said, it was a dream. And when I woke up, I told my husband. He said I should forget about it, that it's just a mere dream. Unlike me, I would have prayed, but I don't know what came over me. I was so ignorant of what the enemy has in plan. So I continued carrying the pregnancy. Few weeks later, I was here on a Tuesday. We prayed, we danced, and I left. Getting home, I feel pressed. I visited the restroom again, and I experienced the same thing that I saw in my dream. So when my husband came back, I told him we rushed to the hospital. On getting to the hospital, the doctor has left. All effort made to reach the doctor was to no avail. So we had no other option than to go to another hospital. We went to Chiadikobi hospital. Lo and behold, he was in the theater. We waited and waited, and it was late. Considering the insecurity and the rest of it all, I urged my husband that we should go back because I wasn't bleeding. It's not regular. It just comes and goes, just drops. So when we went back to the house, the next day I went to the hospital. I saw my doctor. After a thorough checkup on me, all he said was, "Madam, I'm sorry we lost the baby." So I couldn't hold it. I was in tears. But the nurses, God used them to encourage me that it's better I lost the pregnancy now than giving birth to a child and before you know it, the baby is gone, that this is still early. I encouraged myself as well. So the option doctor gave us was evacuation. The baby was evacuated. It wasn't easy, but God saw me through. And I bleeded till 1 month. This thing happened in March. So I bleeded till 1st of April. We went back to the hospital. He gave me some medication and that bleeding stopped. So April passed, May came and passed. Then comes June. In June, there was this slippers I wanted to buy. So funny it is, but that's true. It cost 5,000 naira then. So I told my husband that I need 5,000 naira for something, which he gave me. But I don't know what stopped me. It's as if I lost interest on that slippers. So that very day, my kids has gone to school. Likewise, my husband, he has gone to the shop. So I was all alone in the house. You know, all this quiet time, loneliness and thereabouts. So I had a voice. This voice said, "You want to buy his slippers?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you need a child?" I said, "Yes, I need a child." The voice said again, "Why don't you use this 5,000 naira in exchange for a baby?" I said, 5,000 naira, he made 5,000 naira. Well, how possible? The voice said, "Why not sow a seed with that 5,000 naira?" I made up my mind. I came here. When Daddy called for seed, I went with that 5,000 naira. I said, "God, if you be the voice I heard, I've come to obey. Lord, please, This is all I can afford for now. Take this 5,000 naira and give me that baby. I knelt down. Before then, Daddy said you should ask God for one thing. And this is the thing that I asked God. And then I was in my monthly period. I said, God, in this condition which I appear in your altar this day, this will be the last till my baby comes forth. I will not see it again until I put to bed. I prayed it with my faith, and I believed it, and we left. June passed. July came. I checked myself. I was pregnant. I was so happy. But before then, few of my friends who knew about my ordeal, they were discouraging me. They would say, why did you opt for evacuation? Mama Emeka did the same thing. Ever since then, she has not put to bed. Mama Binda, can't you see Mami Forma? She did evacuation. That is, in this 25th century, evacuation is no longer an option. It damages the womb and the rest of it. They were telling me all sorts of discouraging things, stories. I said, God, what would I have done? At least I wasn't aware. In fact, I became discouraged. My spirit was becoming down. But I summoned up courage. I said, God, my case is different. At least if not for anything, I'm not working yet. I haven't secured a job. But every Tuesday, I'm always here. I tarry in the presence of God from morning till evening. God will not forsake me. So I started saying, God, I know the thought you have for me, thought of peace and not of evil, to give me an expected end. Lord God, please, my case is different. You know, just like Daddy told us, I was rehearsing it. I was trying to encourage myself, using scriptural backups to back up my faith. And I continued. Then, in June, I took him. When I took him, I came here and I thank God in my own little way. Then, I now reached another agreement, another covenant with God. I said, God, please, the Egyptians that I saw yesterday, I wouldn't want to see it again. God, preserve me and this pregnancy. I don't want to miscarry. You promised us that we should not miscarry. Lord, may I never miscarry. Preserve me and this baby. When I put to bed, and I want more, so I need another. My first daughter was through CS. The second one was normal. And this one, I want it normal as well. So God did it for me. My dates came and passed. I came. Before then, I registered the case. Daddy prayed for me. And after the prayer, within 5 minutes, labor came up. And I put to bed.